The boy is a monster. Dad made him a windmill, but the boy ate it. It turns out the boy is a furnace and must live on wood. But the wooden father wasn't afraid and stayed by his side every day. When the boy was 10 years old, his father gave him a wooden hat. But the boy ate it as a snack. At night, when his father was working, the boy ate the parts of the model. The boy wanted to eat all the time. He was going to eat the furniture and the house. Dad had to fix it urgently, but he couldn't keep up with the boy's eating. That day, the boy chewed on the beams of the house. The pillars were damaged and cracked. The father rushed to protect the boy before the house collapsed. The father was saddened by the loss of his house of 40 years. The boy held his father's hand, but the father just looked at him and went to a vacant lot and cried. The boy blamed himself for what had happened. The next day, his father woke up and realized that his son had disappeared. He was anxious because of the constant water leakage from the ceiling, because his son was afraid of water. At that moment, he saw a faint fire on the top of the mountain in the distance. Ignoring the danger, Papa would climb up the mountain against the wind. When he reached the top, he found his son in critical condition. The dad rushed over. He couldn't believe that his son was actually doing something stupid. His son's fire had been doused, and he blew on the ashes in a futile attempt to start a fire. When the storm stopped, the father flattened the boy on the ground and told him to hold on to the windmill. However, this unintentional act gives the father an idea of how to revive his son. The father modified the furnace and used the windmill to turn the gears. The next second, his son woke up. The clever father saved his son. And the boy became a modified man and never had to eat wood again. It was a pair of sad parents who turned the boy into a puppet in order to get their son into a prestigious university. Just a short while ago, the boy scored 99 marks in his exams, but his parents were not happy with his score, so they took away all his toys and replaced them with trophies. The boy's dream was to become an astronaut and put the painting on the wall. But his father took it away and replaced it with a world-class school. Nothing in the room was to the boy's liking. The boy ran over and tried to protest. But his parents didn't give him a chance and said he'd go picking dung if he didn't get into a prestigious university. The boy tried to pick up the painting on the floor. Suddenly, something magical happened. The room was transformed. The walls were covered with certificates from famous universities and honors, and hundreds of books hung in the air. But it gets worse. The boy looks down and realizes that his feet are bound. Even his hands were being controlled without him realizing it. The boy's freedom was taken away from him. He tried to break free, but the line led him up a flight of steps. The boy can only be manipulated upwards. On the way, the boy tries to rest, but the rope urges him to hurry. When the boy didn't obey, he was pulled along. The man had no choice but to keep going and finally reach the top. What he never expected was that his parents were the ones manipulating him. The boy had become a complete puppet. His soul had left his body. What's even more bizarre is that the boy's parents are also being controlled by the strings.